So yesterday, I understand that Chris and Gemma were the ones that were challenged. You guys talked a little bit about starting your day off right. And it sounds like Chris and Gemma had to put together a plan for how they plan to, the goals they set for the day and how they plan to get their day off to a good start. So can you guys share with me a little bit about what your plan was?
Basically I set forth some goals, 20 calls. I wanted to devote an hour to unengaged client dialing, another hour devoted to catching up on content, and then I had 4 appointments for the day as well on top of that I planned on completing and adding value to their day.
Very nice. Were you able to achieve it?
No.
That's all right. So you had a good plan. What about, where'd Gemma go? There she is.
I actually had 4 appointments set for yesterday, so what I wanted to do was make sure that there was value in those appointments. I even had one of those customers actually say to me, 30 days, right? So what's our next appointment? So she just knows that we have a 30-day appointment. And then I wanted to make them feel special, so one of the customers that I had actually had gotten their website back twice from a sponsor, and it was still wrong. So I went in and told her, I said, I'll just do it. So I went in and added all the pictures that needed added and put some things to it. She was very happy about that. I want my customers to feel special, like they're the only ones that I'm working with that day. And so she actually thanked me and said that she's just happy that she's working with us. So, and then I wanted to make calls to people, and I send out the people that I haven't been able to contact in a while. I wanted to give them some sense of urgency that calls back. So I usually use, it's vital for your plan that we talk. We have not spoken since, and I give them the date. And then I also send out an email with that on it, with the time trading link, and tell them, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you. Just call me. So.
Yep. No, that's great. Yeah. So it sounds like you guys had some good plans and were able to achieve some of it at least. So
I achieved some things through striving to attain those goals.
Right. Exactly. And that's what's important, having that plan in place, right? So and just as important as having that plan in place is certainly how we finish the day. So today I'll be talking about ending the day the right way, finishing strong. Thought I'd call this finish strong Friday, but really we want to finish strong every day. So I thought I'd start off by sharing a little story about 8 or 9 years ago. I was in insurance sales, and we had a consultant that he was a sales trainer, came in and he was working with our sales group, and he was sharing with us, what's the differentiators between the average and the really successful. And he said one of those differentiators was how they finished their day, right? So he said, folks that are typically average, right, in their results that they're getting. He said at the end of the day, around 4:30, 4:45, you'll see things where they're getting up, they're talking to their friends, hanging out, maybe going to the bathroom, checking Facebook, just trying to find a way to burn the last 15 minutes of the day, right? Maybe, he said, oftentimes you might see them, lacing up their shoes, doing their stretches for that sprint out the door as soon as the clock hits 5 o'clock. But oftentimes what we'll see with the really successful is, they said, they're always looking for a way to say, how can I get one more call in? How can I get an edge above what everybody else is doing? So talking about, I think the end of the day is really that edge that you could get by making one more call, evaluating your goals for the next day, right? So are we looking at our plan, like you guys talked about yesterday? Are we looking at the plan and the goals that we have for tomorrow? Do we understand what's on our calendar, so that we're not coming in right at 8 o'clock and looking at our calendar and being surprised by what we have to do that day? Another tip is leave on a positive note, right? So at the end of the day, I know a lot of my team, they like to share with me, what their successes were for the day. Whether it was, Rachel the other day sharing with me that she'd made 57 calls for the day, right? Or a great call that, Corey's telling me about that he had, right? So a lot of just different things to end your day on a good note, that we're leaving here not, stressed out, talking about, what were the worst things that happened today. So those are some of the tips that I would have for finishing the day strong and ending on the right note. So what are some of the tips that you guys have that you do to end the day the right way?
Set my schedule for the next day. Make sure everything's in line with what it needs to be. Check the SEM accounts, make sure that there's nothing that needs to be addressed before I talk to them tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So making sure we know that there's nothing that needs to be addressed, that's very important, right? So most of our escalations, really, when you think about it, right, they come in after 5 o'clock. They're not, a lot of them aren't necessarily happening right during that 8 to 5 period. They're coming in saying that customer is waiting by their phone for a phone call, right? And they say, you hear after 5 o'clock that the such and such person never called me back, right? They were expecting just a follow up, whether something was done or not done, right? Just that follow up to say, hey, I've submitted your SEM changes the other day. They're still not done. I'm on top of this. That they know that you're aware of what's going on, that you're on top of the situation, right? So yeah, that's perfect. Anything else?
I always make sure I clear out my email and respond to everybody that I might have missed throughout the day. That way when I wake up, I've got a fresh start with my email in the morning.
Yeah, making sure you got a fresh start. Yeah, that's perfect. Anything else? No? All right, well, we'll see. Jamie's got some tips for us, I think, so I'll let Jamie take over.
Well, for client experience, so what client experience is to me is treating the customer like I would treat my friends. Kind of like Chris was saying yesterday, you treat people the way you want treated. So when I get on the phone with a client, I think a big part of that customer experience is letting them know, like, we work for you, we're a team, and just treating them and talking to them the way I would talk to anybody else I talk to. No matter their level of marketing, you figure that out as you talk to them. And I feel that is a great customer experience, because that's what my favorite about. I also think part of the great customer experience is letting them know that we're the experts, reassuring them I'm the expert at marketing, you're the expert at running your company, and together we're one big team working together to make you successful. Just making you successful makes me successful in what I do. And just having that approach with the clients.
Move. You're this close to knocking that copy off. Sorry. Just go like,
So I believe that's a big part of, customer experience overall, going above and beyond with every client. And I send a point of contact to every one of my clients. So when I call them for that welcome call, even if I get them on the phone and talk to them, I always tell them, hey, I'm going to send you over an email. It's got all my information on it so that you have it. If I leave a voicemail, I tell them the same thing on the voicemail so that they look, because we all know sometimes they don't look at a bunch of emails, especially if they don't expect it. I'll leave it on my voicemail. Hey, this is who I am. This is why I'm calling. I'm going to send you over an email that has my point of contact information on it. If you need anything before our scheduled call on this date, please reach out to me. And I think that's a lot, to me, that has to do with the overall customer experience.
Yep. No, that's great. So thank you, Jamie. So with that, right, so our final tip of the day before we get to the contest, our final tip of the day for finishing the day strong is what is one thing that you're proud of? Think of one thing at the end of today that you're proud of that happened today. So that is going to be our contest today. So I'll have Jamie and I'll have Gemma, since Gemma got chosen yesterday. I'll have Gemma pick the person, but have you guys send us. I guess, do you want them sent to you, Mike?
Send it to Jason.
Send it to me? Yeah. Okay, me and Mike. What is the one thing you're most proud of being in today?
Stephanie Brinkman.
It's all on Steph.
Jamie. All right. All right, you guys got that? So send that to me and Mike by 4:45 today. All right, well, that's all I had. Thanks, guys.